You know what? Everybody ought to be mayor. If we just treated Topeka better, if we had just a better outlook, I think about. I told Rezak the other day, Mark Rezak. Oh, hey, we're live. This is Henry McClure live. This
James
is
Balden Jr.
part 2. We might have 15 minutes in this. We'll see. We're going to get him to talk about his $2.2 million project in this segment. But what I was telling, if we just all acted like the mayor, we could grow Topeka.
Well,
But do we want to grow? And do we want to grow Kansas?
well,
A friend of mine the other day down at Julie's was saying, we have no draw to Topeka. Now, he's got an idea, I don't like it, using 666 as a thing, but we got to draw people to the town.
correct.
And maybe the pies will do it.
Well, the way you draw people, Henry,
You're referring to your notes there.
yes, if I may. It says, beware of false prophets who came to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. But their fruits you shall know them. For what is a man profited if he gives the whole world and loses his own soul?
Hang on just a second.
Go ahead.
Hey, Ziggy, turn off the radio. I can't hear you.
Okay. For what is a man profited if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? I would like for those of you who are seeking another way to follow Jesus, who is the light. Go ahead, Henry.
That's a big.
That's what will
that's
draw.
a good weekend to talk.
That's what will draw people, Henry, is Jesus. Just say the name. Can you say the name Jesus?
Jesus.
Jesus. That's all you gotta say, Henry.
Jesus.
Go ahead, sir. That will draw the people. Because people want to be loved. See, that's part of Jesus' teaching.
How many times do I tell you I love you, man?
I love you, Henry.
I love you.
I love you, City of Topeka.
Yeah.
Yes.
If nobody's a girl on X, her name is her handle is misunderstood,
Yes.
and she's the cutest little gal, and she always says that.
Uh-huh.
If
What's that?
if nobody's told you they love you today, I want you to know I love you.
And she's following the teachings of Jesus. And so that's why I'm here today. And that's what has
You going to church tomorrow?
made me who I am today.
We can have church right here.
No, we're having church
Yeah.
right here. Because part of this said, beware of the false prophets. Now, Henry,
You mean like Pee Wee Herman?
well, that's where I'm trying to get to, Henry. When we say false prophets, are we just talking about church people? Or does that extend beyond that?
I've always enjoyed. Think about our country developing here for religious freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I don't understand about the Palestinians,
Okay.
and the people
Mm-hmm.
that want to hate Israel, and I don't get that part.
Well, is that
Hey, let me ask you a question.
but before you say that, is that the understanding that we have is that they hate Israel? But go ahead.
Well,
I mean, I don't know if I
there's
have
a
that same
certain amount of
understanding.
people that just want to crush Israel, and they shouldn't even be
Well,
existing.
I want to address that. I think that man has been fighting one another since the beginning of time. Now, why do we do that is the question. Why are men fighting one another? Because they don't, I'll give you the answer, because they don't follow the teachings of Christ. Go ahead, Henry.
Well, I'm a fan of the Emperor Constantine and the vision that he had at the Mulvian Bridge, and picking Christianity to create, to move the Roman Empire towards Christianity. It's what his mom always wanted him to do. And honor thy mother. You know, one thing I loved about my mom more than anything in the world was, you know, you can't bear the burdens of the world. So there's certain issues that you just can't, it's not our cross to bear.
That is correct.
And, but seeing through it, so what's happened to me over the last 10 years is a certain amount of maturity.
Very
You know,
good.
I'm always joking, and sometimes I say the wrong thing,
Very good.
and, you know,
But we can forgive one another.
we can. Like the other day on X, there was something I saw on X, and I didn't know people were stalking me to the level they are, but I'm willing to answer for all my
Well,
shortcomings.
you're a famous person.
I don't know
got,
about that.
You got to understand that, Henry. Well, you're with JB now.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you forgot about it. You've been that off.
But
you're
it's-
with JB now.
It's
I know,
the
I know to
it's
you,
the humility, though.
Yeah, to some people that don't mean something, but some people that's the world of knowledge. And
Well,
I've shared some of it with you here today.
and
Go
to
ahead.
me, it's all about your father.
Absolutely.
You know, what a hard worker.
Absolutely.
And he got ran out of town, really. I mean, no, well, he got squeezed out of the airport.
Well, Henry.
Hey! Listen to this. You know, I've got information coming to me about a big lawsuit going on out there because they weren't treating people right.
Oh, it's a little late now.
MTAA.
It's a little late
No,
now.
it's going on right now.
I mean, it's a little late for my father.
Yeah, I know.
But I was reading an article in the Topeka Capital Journal. I don't know how it just showed up one day. I was just on the internet, and I didn't even know my father had done this. But he said that he has been discriminated against for 30 years. Henry, my father's not a complainer,
Well, think about.
but he wants people to know. The community knows Jim Bolden. If you're any part of the community at all, you know Jim Bolden because he was out there in the community. Making a better community.
Would you?
And I am the reciprocal. I am the reciprocal of him. You know, but it took other men to make me who I am today, not just Jim Bolden.
Excuse me.
But the Lord has blessed me with other great men in my life. And Henry, you being one of them.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You don't say nothing, Henry. You don't say nothing. He just wanted to make a better community. And so, you know, I am the offsprings of Jim Bolden. I've got another brother and I've got a couple sisters that are the offsprings. Jim Bolden. Go ahead, Henry.
I'll tell you who was one of the most inspirational people in my life was a fellow named Maurice Martin.
Very good.
And
Very good.
actually, I think he was head of the Democratic Party.
Well, that's okay.
No, I know.
Because my father understands that if the Democrats and the Republicans work together, we can make a better.
Well, what was nice, he's helping a young Republican out.
Very good, and that's very important that you said that. You don't know how the importance of that because my dad would work with Robert Buggs was a Democrat, and they would work together.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
And what are we at today? We've got Democrats that are hating on Republicans. We got Republicans that are hating on Democrats. That's not what America was built on, was it, Henry?
No. We just didn't want to get charged for. We didn't want to pay to the crown, so we rebelled against the crown.
Very good.
And this is what has happened: is the bureaucrats have become the crown. The bureaucrats of this community.
I agree with that.
And what happened to me with this
I
whole
agree with
Senate
that.
Bill 104,
That theory.
the Senate Bill 104, I felt that Rich Eckert completely undermined the people trying to be involved with government, and I felt a little betrayed by Kansas. There were 4 Republican House members that stood up against 104, and I want to meet them. I want to have them on the show.
Good.
But I want to tell you something about John Akala. From the day I met him, and I needed to know him to get a vote for College Hill, to today, I think he's a different man. I think it's a difference, and I'd like to get to know him a little better. But it's the difference between drunk Henry and sober Henry.
Okay, very good.
I mean, that's the best analogy I can get.
Well, Henry, you're bringing up a very important point here.
What, evolution and people being able to change?
Very good, Henry. Absolutely. Jesus Christ, in meeting him, made a change in my life. I haven't always been this individual that I am today. Haven't always been who I am today. But we want to look at people who they were yesterday
And keep bringing it up.
and keep bringing it up, who he was yesterday, because we're not following the teachings of Jesus.
Can I tell you about the Orthodox church that I work for?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to sell their church
Mm-hmm.
over on Huntoon.
Mm-hmm.
And the Orthodox, I asked them when was their first religious, when was your first service? And they said Pentecost.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Orthodox are an interesting religion.
Okay.
And finally, Rome pulled away from the Orthodox Church because of the power of the Pope in 1100.
Very good history, Henry.
Yeah, I love this history because you've got to understand how we got here.
Absolutely.
And then all King Henry wanted was a divorce. And I understand that too. Went to marriage counseling for that. But my wife and I never pulled together as a team. And I know I'm hard to understand. And, I quit drinking for 8 years just to save our marriage. Problem was, I made up for lost time. And it took me what I felt was a death moment.
Well, let me ask you something, Henry.
Yes, sir.
And this is why I had learned at probably about 30 years old, from 35 years ago, that we need to ask of a wife from the Lord. Did you feel like you and your wife were unequally yoked?
I was just so in love, it didn't matter.
Sure. Now.
You know what I liked about her in the beginning?
Go ahead, Henry.
And I thought it was her work ethic. She
Mhm.
worked with longshoremen in Oxnard, and she's taken cars off of the ships.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think she worked for Toyota,
Oh, okay.
and I figured, she'd get it. I was doing very well at the Macerich Company at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and we could live off of my income.
Mm-hmm.
And as time marched on, I said, you can retire
Mhm.
whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never really took the balance. The one thing that really saddened me when we moved back to Topeka, well, I'll never forget the first time we went to St. David's. Not only was I baptized there, see up there in the corner up there, that's my baptism
Oh, okay.
from St. David's.
Okay.
And my dad formed St. David's. He was a chancellor for the diocese. They went to Grace Cathedral, and see, my dad had to change. He became an Episcopalian because the Bantleons are all Episcopalian, and his grandfather was the third guy at First Presbyterian Church. So, and where this was all going was the Buddhists that we bought land from. And Sherilyn Marvin was the closing agent. And we're talking to like the patriarch, right? Or is it the matriarch? One's female, one's male. I don't know. Let's see which one.
And while you're looking that up, Henry,
Matriarch.
Here's the definition of matriarch: a woman who is the head of a family or tribe.
go ahead.
So the matriarch of the family, they originally were going to open up a Buddhist
Okay.
temple, and the Buddhist lives there on Adams, the guy with the orange robes.
Yes.
He's always walking around. I know that
see
guy.
him every day. Oh, you know that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the Buddhists weren't able to pull off their empire or their temple. And she said, she's telling this story at the closing table. And she goes, I prayed to God. And she kind of spoke a little broken English. And she goes, but I felt bad because I don't know God.
Oh,
And because she's a Buddhist, right?
correct.
And she goes, but now all of a sudden I'm in trouble and want to move this land. I'm praying to God. I'm asking for God's help.
Okay.
And she touched my arm and she goes, then you showed up. And I had like a jolt of energy go through my body,
Yes.
like I did on May 2nd, 2015.
Yes.
My hair was standing up.
Yes.
I felt like recharged. It's like having 100 cups of coffee at one time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Boom!
Yes.
And I looked over at Sherilyn. I go, did you feel that? And she goes, yeah. She had goosebumps all up. And we still talk about that closing.
It's called the Holy Spirit.
Man, it was there today, that day.
Yes.
And that deal is kind of cool. But what's really wild about the land was the last land Dana K. Anderson didn't buy when he was a home developer. So he almost went, the most successful guy, one of the most successful guys I know, went broke here in the home building business. And Dana K, you ought to listen to Dana K sometimes talk
I'd love
about
to.
Topeka.
I'd love to.
Yeah, we'll go over there. We'll
He-
go to
he-
Milton's.
Or he can come to the show.
Yeah, but he's at 90. We got to go to him.
Okay, very good. So anyhow, Henry, what I wanted to say was this.
We'll say it.
Well, let me form it in
Okay,
my
okay.
mind first. Just give me a second. What made America great in the first place, Henry?
The freedom from the crown.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
that's one of the things.
Okay.
Religious freedom.
Okay. To pick and to choose our own, right?
You mean our own
religious freedom.
path?
You said religious freedom.
That was part of it, yeah.
Yes. And what made America great for all the viewers out there was that we chose to follow the Lord. That's what made America great. We chose to follow the Lord. The lady what Buddhist was saying, she didn't know the Lord, Henry. And I'm going to tell you what she really was saying, Henry. But when she met you, see, because she asked the Lord, because the Lord said, remember what I said earlier?
About asking.
Okay, you remember. That's good. We can hang for a little while longer. She asked the Lord, and who popped up, Henry? The one and only.
Or Father Nikolai.
Let's leave it. Let's just stick with it, Henry.
Well, let me dig one layer deeper.
And when she said, "Glory, hallelujah," when she met you, Henry. Okay, Henry. Henry.
Can I dig one level deeper?
Go ahead. It's yours now.
Because this is where I can be the mayor and do real estate. So I'm on my way over to talk to Dana K to buy the land personally. You know, I got a commission coming up. I was going to talk him in, see if I could talk him into doing the deal with me. Hey, float me till I get this next deal done, and I was going to live on that land. To me, it was already holy ground because Dana was involved with it, and I get a call, and on the fly, I mean, I'm driving over there, and I turn around at the Loves, you know, on the turnpike, and I came back, met with Father Nikolai, and he wanted to buy the land. So I was willing to give up my land, and this all sounds all self-righteous, right? And
Not really.
it's the truth. So I gave it up so Father Nikolai could have the deal. And it was what I was supposed to do. It didn't.
Yes.
It
You
didn't matter.
You follow the Spirit,
Yeah.
and that's what we must do. That's what he. When Jesus Christ left, what did he say? I'm going to leave you with.
We mean is he up on the cross?
When Jesus Christ left us,
Well, he said you'll all join me in paradise.
But what did he leave us with? To be able
Hope?
to, that part of it. He said, I'm going to leave you with my spirit.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That's what that means. And so we must follow the spirit. And that's what you do. When you did that prayer that day.
You mean down at the county commission when I met you?
Yes. See? And you know when you're in the spirit, don't you?
I want that healing energy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give it away.
Yes.
And I'm no better than you.
And me no better than you, Henry.
But I've got 45 years experience in deals.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
I've risked my own capital.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen other cities that it's done well.
Yes.
And I want to give back to the community.
Well,
now, I want
hold it right there, Henry. Hold it right there, Henry. Don't want to move too fast. Because the viewers heard that, and plus myself, are going to hold you for just what you just said. We're already past the 15-minute mark. But see, when you say these things, Henry, see, would you agree, Henry, that the Lord has blessed you?
Yes. I got a second chance at life.
And
Drugs.
You're saying, well, you have to go all there.
All right.
And you're saying you want to give back to the community. Is that what you're saying, Henry?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so, to the citizens of this community, in order for him to give back, we have to be able to give him the opportunity to give back. And like I say, Henry, you know, when I withdraw, then that will be an opportunity to endorse you and to give you an opportunity to give back.
Can I talk about my county commission race for a minute?
Go ahead.
Because I bruised a lot of egos out there the way I did it. I went about it. But what made me what I don't like about Kevin Cook is, and the difference between Kevin and Henry McClure
Yes.
is I'm unvaccinated and I never would have put Shawnee County through the lockdown and the mask wearing as if my one vote.
Well, since you've opened that door up, and I've looked at a few of your videos, you want to tell the viewers why you decided to go that way.
To stay unvaccinated?
Yes.
Because the science wasn't there yet.
Very good.
And
Very good.
the herd mentality, you know, God, I thought it was unnatural to put that in my system.
Put what in your system?
The vaccine.
What was in the vaccine, Henry?
The RNHI, I thought the virus was in the vaccine.
Well,
Personally.
it was in the vaccine.
Okay.
Because, see, Henry, I can take it from there for a minute. The part of the history of the Egyptians or the Africans or, you know, whichever, some of the people that was here originally on the planet, that was part of the healing process, was to put the drug, not,
The virus.
the virus into our bodies, and then when it hits us, then it won't affect us. That's part of it. Now, I agree with what you just said. However, what you're telling me is, and my analogy is, that once they put it inside our bodies,
Can't get it out.
right. Now, it may have helped to stop when it came in, but what I think was missed there, what I believe was missed there, is some of our bodies can reject that. And the main reason I took it, because in being in business, I'm around, as carpet cleaning, I'm around citizens. And I did not want to, maybe this doesn't really make a lot of sense now, but I did not want to be a threat to my customers. And so I want to do everything to protect my customers. Go ahead, Henry.
But you weren't contagious.
Yeah, yeah. But I was so confused at
But
the time.
here's the thing is,
I was so confused at the time of what was going on.
after my divine intervention,
Mm-hmm.
I thought God would take care of me.
And he did.
Yeah. And so
And he
one
did.
of the
And that was my initial, but then I got off boat. I got off track somehow.
you know, I have
Go
a
ahead.
I have a blog post that I put up. I do a bunch of blogs. You know, just kind of as my therapy. And it was a way to make homemade hydroxychloroquine. And and that recipe's out there. And I gave it to Tyler. Tyler had COVID. Tyler took it. Tyler got better.
Really?
Yeah. He took my homemade recipe of hydroxychloroquine and got better.
So
So what I'm saying
go
is,
ahead.
a guy like Kevin Cook shouldn't have the authority to be the medical doctor for the community. Nor Aaron Mays, nor Bill Rapon.
Well, I'm sure some people say that about you. Henry. Go ahead.
Well, I don't. If you want to personally go take it, that's your right.
The hydrochloroquine.
No. If you want to go get vaccinated,
No, I'm talking about the hydrochloroquine now, because I'm interested now.
oh, you want the recipe?
Well, no, I don't want the recipe. I'm just saying. You're saying this was a gift that the Lord has given you to create this?
No. I found it on Twitter, X.
Oh, okay. All right.
I found it.
Okay, very good. We're trying to keep it live right here on the Henry Live Show. Go ahead, Henry.
No, it's black and white.
Okay.
This
Okay.
ain't Henry McClure live when you're here.
Oh, this is black and white today.
Yeah, it's black and white.
Okay, you've reproduced it. Okay,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good. This is keeping it live on the Black and White Show.
Yeah. But look, here's the thing about it is, it's like
Keeping
alcohol.
it real, I think I said.
It's like alcohol. There are people that can drink.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to prohibit them from drinking.
Correct.
I'm not for weed,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not so sure you should go to jail for it today.
I agree.
Um,
In other words, there's some
I've
people-
tried cocaine.
It's, like I said, it's no different than alcohol. Some
It's
people.
choice.
Yes.
And if you choose to go get vaccinated, I
Mhm.
don't hate you.
Very good.
But I don't think the government ought to be deciding.
Well, one of the things that and you've opened up another can of worms here. One of the things, Henry, and just give me a minute. Just need 1 minute.
Did I interrupt
we're going
you too
into 30
much?
minutes. Because you've opened up a can of worms here. When you indicated, you just indicated something. That I opened up a can of worms here. Okay, I got it.
The authoritative.
Okay, I got it. Fear can be. There was a saying. Go ahead here. I got a minute. I'm gonna.
All right. You know who my
I wanna
favorite
get this
guy
saying.
is in the Trump administration?
Go ahead, sir.
Bobby Kennedy Jr.
Okay.
He is my favorite. You know
Okay.
why? Because he wants to take on the big food people.
Okay.
And so I've become a disciple of Dr. Gundry. Avoid lectins, eat polyphenols, and take care of your microbiome, and you're going to live longer. Gundry says we ought to be living to 125, but the fact that the tobacco companies hired bought all the food companies, and they made the food addictive, the shitty food, and RFK, Bobby Kennedy is trying to change that. But you know what I like about him more than anything is he's a Democrat, and Trump's
Well,
Trump's
independent is what he ran as.
well, he's a Democrat.
Okay.
The Kennedy family,
Okay. Well, that's true.
you know, their trust
family,
they
yes.
have blind trust,
Mhm.
so they can be in politics
Mhm.
because they got so much money. But here's Trump is a Democrat,
Mhm.
and then becomes a Republican,
Yes.
and Trump's just saying, "Look, I want my cabinet to be inclusive,
Inclusive of.
the right guys, the right people. It doesn't matter whether
Well,
you're
well,
Republican or Democrat.
Well, Well, before I go there, can I say this? It'll take about 10 seconds. Fear and hate. And first, let me prelude this. This quote came from the Bonanza young man. Who,
Michael Landon?
But his name on TV was
Little Joe?
Little Joe. I watch a lot of Little Joe. I don't have a problem.
You go out to Ravenwood Lodge, they got Bonanza playing 24 hours a day.
Okay, very good. Little Joe said this. I quote this from Little Joe in the last show I saw. I was so good I had to write it down for the black and white show. Fear and hate are the two most contagious diseases known to man in America. Okay, go ahead, Henry. Let me do it again?
No, I got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
You want me to
fear
do
and
it again?
hate.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a black and white issue.
Now,
No.
Now, what brought that up was the COVID. It was based off of fear. Is why we had to make a determination whether we were going to take a shot or not. It was based off of fear. Now, I want to move on, but to another section. Did you have something else you wanted to go to?
Move on.
Okay. I wanted to move on.
Sure, show.
Let me say that one more time for the viewers.
Fear and hate.
Are the two most contagious diseases known to man in America. Now, what does that mean to you, Henry?
Well, if you break it down to black and white,
Okay.
Not Pee Wee Herman, because it's bigger than Pee Wee Herman, but they want you to fear me and me to hate you, and you to fear me, or you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
They want black and white to fear and hate each other.
And why is that?
Because they want us divided.
And why is that?
Because then they can control us.
Very good.
It's about control.
Very good.
And that's why they don't want to have a citizens commission in this community.
Very good.
Because each little fiefdom might lose some control.
Very good.
You know what I'd like to see?
Now the king wants to keep us, and I learned this from a homeless man when I was in Corpus Christi. What was the name of that?
Corpus Christi. Down in Texas?
In Texas.
Yeah.
Where
Let's rename it.
Elvis Presley.
He's hiding there today.
Well, he's hiding there today, Henry. Corpus, Texas. Is that it?
No, that's fine. Corpus Christi, Texas.
Corpus Christi, Texas.
That's where I met Reagan.
I met a homeless guy there and said he told me, the king is easier to rule for the king if he keeps the people impoverished. Go ahead, Henry.
Do you know?
We're already past the 15
we're not
minutes.
on a time limit.
It's already been 30 minutes.
Well, have I worn you out?
Well, can you put another commercial break in, Henry?
Yeah, we can do a
Never
commercial.
listen to some of that good soul music we got.
Oh, well, hey Ziggy, put on some soul music.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, that's what we need.
We'll take a break.
We need people with boom boxes following behind us, and when we all of a sudden we need to have a song play.
There we go, Henry. Do a little bit of that. Do a little bit of something like that. Yeah.
See, I grew a beard, so they think I'm Klossman, and I'll get the better deal.
Okay, very good. Very good.
You know, one thing. Let's talk about your $2.2 million deal. What are we doing down yonder? Is it housing?
Yes.
Okay, so we want RHID.
Okay.
That's housing. See, our housing is so bad, they had to take, at one time, they needed to create rural housing deals.
Yes.
And the governor, in her infinite wisdom, approved Kansas of being, our housing had such a shortage that the rural housing can work in the boundaries of Topeka. See, to me, the community is really Shawnee County. And it's because of white flight that we have growth out in the county after Brown versus Board.
Okay. Ooh.
And I would like to study that over my lifetime, the actual ramifications of Brown versus Board white flight due to the McClure name. I wish I'd have known my grandfather and grandmother on the McClure side, but they passed before I came along. But going to McClure school, first, second, and third grade, and I still have lifelong friends from that. I know, and that's kind of one of the fun things about coming home, you know. And I really came back home because of the McClure name. And I'm going to do my best to not regret it.
Very good.
But I understand Bianca wanting to live in Kansas City.
Bianca?
Yeah, my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I always call her Bantleon.
Okay.
She's of the Kansas City Bantleons. Oh, all right. So, it's a nice day out.
Beautiful day.
I want to thank you for your time today.
I want to thank you for having me today.
Well, what I do want to thank you too for all that hard work you did down
Well,
at Agape,
it's my
Agape
pleasure.
Village.
It's my pleasure.
And
do it,
Agape
we
Gallery.
do it all the time, Henry. It's nothing new.
Hey,
The only thing new is I'm getting older now, Henry.
oh man, but it's a
And
luxury.
and like it is a luxury.
You
It is a
know,
luxury.
my mom always used to say that.
You've allowed us to work at our own pace, and the plan was to get it done in 2 days, and we're going to go back Monday and do some touch-up work, Henry. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. I just wanted to make it known that, you know, it's just, when you have the right tools and you have the right equipment and you have everything, you know.
Who was your worker?
Josiah.
Man, that guy.
He's good, isn't he? The Lord blessed me with him. He see me on Facebook one day, and he called me up. And he said he wanted a job. And I said, you really don't want to do this kind of work. And I said, but if you...
You know, I think about
said,
that about my daughter.
If you want to do it, I told him I'll give you an opportunity. And that was 4 years ago. Go ahead, Amy.
No, I think about that of my daughter. What a struggle it has been, you know, because you live commission to commission. And so, you know, I need that Whataburger commission to come through to pay for my campaign because I didn't want to ask people for money. I don't want to have to owe anybody.
Well, this is the way I look at that, Henry. You are not allowing the people to give when you do that. You should allow the people to give, but if you feel like you're not strong enough,
No.
well, let me finish. If you feel like you're not strong enough to where you feel you will owe people, because if I want to give you $5, you should allow that.
So give it to the Republican Party.
Well,
Here's the thing about it.
Well, this is the deal. This is the deal. This is the deal with that, Henry. Right now.
Give me $5 worth of prayer.
Right now. Well, okay. Well, if that's what you want, that's fine. That's fine. Because.
Tell your neighbor to vote for me.
Well, that's fine.
And
that's
if
fine.
you want to run for
That's
mayor,
fine. Well,
jump in.
Well, I don't. Like I said, I don't know. I'm still in the process. However, and I may still do that. I'm not saying I won't. But I have to be led by the Spirit also. So at the end of the day, Henry, we're getting back to the point of what made America great. When Rome was great at one time. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah.
We weren't there, but we read about it.
I've seen the Roman bath in England, in Bath.
And
You know why Rome fell, right?
why did Rome fail? That's why.
Their inability to assimilate the migrants, the immigrants, the people that they conquered.
Okay.
You know, they didn't have the ability. So, you know, Rome got so big they had to have 5 Caesars.
Okay.
And
Okay. Keep going.
so Constantine
Mm-hmm.
was the you had like the main Caesar, and then you had territorial Caesars.
Good. Good.
And so they weren't able, the fall of the Roman Empire
Okay.
were immigrants
Okay.
and their ability to assimilate them. That's why I'm for a border. You know what I'm liking about the border guy now? He's saying, look, deport your, deport.
Now, before you go to the border guy,
Mean us all being immigrants?
well, no. When you said 5 Caesars, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but it appeared that they all wanted a part of that leadership, a part of that leadership role. Is that? I mean,
Now, you'd really have to sit back and study the warring, because that was the, at the Mulvian Bridge, there were 2 Caesars fighting each other.
very good.
And
Very good.
that was to me, that was the birth of Christianity as far as Rome goes. See, to the Orthodox, they've been practicing Christianity the whole time. And the way the Orthodox grew, they, it's interesting to hear the Orthodox point of view. Now, everybody always says the Greek Orthodox. No, it's really just the Orthodox Church. And so they've been practicing what, in their version of Christianity, the most pure in their mind. You know, what I want you to be able to do is I want to tell people that what saved my life proved to me there's a higher power out there.
Very good.
And it's much bigger than you and me.
Very good. Much bigger than me.
Whatever gave me a second chance to be back here on earth and be this Henry, I'm still figuring it out.
Well, his name, and that's why I'm here, Henry, was Jesus. You don't have to figure it out
No.
anymore. Because I'm here to tell you, his name was Jesus. And I've been blessed to know that. Just a minute, Henry. I was blessed to have a mentor that has mentored me, who passed away in 2015 of prostate. I think what was that the Wheel of Fortune guy died of? Do you know the Wheel of Fortune guy?
I don't know.
Well, anyhow, that's I don't.
Pat Sajak?
Pat Sajak, not Pat Sajak, not Wheel of Fortune. Jeopardy. I'm sorry. The guy with Jeopardy. What did he pass away of? Anyhow, that's what my cousin had. I may not be.
Now, what day did he die?
I don't know what day. I don't remember the day.
Well, let's look it up.
Well, I don't know what day, but it was in 2015. We come to another show with that. It was 2015. And before that, we had known each other for about 30 years. He had mentored me for about 30 years. And so what I'm bringing to you, he was a great man. I was telling Henry, as I shared with Henry,
You know,
I could take my wife to work in Kansas City when she didn't have her car or whichever, and I would go by his house, and he could have me entertained for 8 hours straight until it was time, or 6 hours, however many hours it was my wife was working, until the time to go pick her up, and then come back to Topeka. And this is basically who he was. This is basically he loved the Lord, and the reason I had ended up, because I asked the Lord, because I was kind of like what Henry was saying. I didn't know which direction to go, and he said to open your Bible and read your Bible. And at the time, like most people, I said, well, what's in the Bible? And so I had to open it up to begin to read it, to begin to understand. He said, I'll be there with you for what you don't understand. And he was there with me the whole time. And now I want to be able to give back to the citizens of this community, and that includes you, Henry, and be able to say, pick it up, read it. If you have any questions or concerns, go ahead. I didn't mean to go there, but the Lord,
No, that's
the Lord
good.
took me there. I didn't mean it, but
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I wanna
Well,
wish
we're
everybody a
moving
happy
to-
Easter.
Yeah, and I want to wish everybody a happy Easter also. What was Easter? What was it founded upon, Henry? Easter Day.
You mean the?
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
You mean the going to the tomb and seeing the stone had rolled over?
Is that what Easter Day is about?
Yeah.
Okay.
The resurrection.
The resurrection.
Yeah.
Okay.
That God was
Because now
Jesus.
because basically we celebrate the eggs today.
No, I
the
don't know really how the eggs got into it.
We probably were hungry. We love to eat, don't we? But you're saying it was the resurrection.
Yeah, the
Very
resurrection of
Very
on the third day he rose again in accordance with the scriptures.
That is correct.
And,
that is correct.
Now I think he appeared to some people
Yes, he
on
did.
Easter Day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I know he appeared after the resurrection.
yeah.
He
And
appeared to was it Mary and Martha, or was it his mother? And I think it was Mary Magdalene, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because she
keep
had
her in the loop.
She had a fondness of him, and of course his mother.
Yeah,
And
not many people have virgin birth.
And Henry, I hate to say this to you and the viewers, but the Holy Spirit it just came across me just now.
Well, that's good. Amen.
Goosebumps just came.
That's good, man. I love that.
Go ahead.
That's a good feeling, isn't it? And I think that we all have to have a spiritual awakening in order to change.
Correct.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah, and that is when you start making decisions differently of how you're going to live your life day to day. And I can accept the fact if Topeka doesn't want to change, well, I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Correct.
We
don't stand in the way of sinners. We don't stand in the way.
I can give you a choice.
Yes.
So Spencer is a great guy all on his own, and he cares, and he's a good dude. In fact, he goes to St. David's Church.
Wonderful, and I have no qualms with Spencer.
But if you want to keep things exactly the way they are, vote for Spencer. Now, right now, there's a fellow named Chad Fay that's also in, and he's a healthcare guy. You know that hospital right across from
well, I just want to take time
Chick-fil-A?
here. Yeah, I just want to take time to say, I want to take time to thank my wife.
Oh, that's good.
Who has been an inspiration in my life. And I just want to take time. Thank you for him for letting me take time to give thanks to my wife.
I'll give thanks to Renee.
Very good.
I care about her
Very good. Very
and
good.
love her.
Very good.
We just
good.
I mean,
Very good.
how could you hate the daughter? I mean the mother.
You should.
Yeah, and
You should.
I hate even to use that word.
Yes.
The fact that we couldn't come together
Yes.
and
Yes.
so there's certain things you can't bear the burdens of the world, right?
Well,
So
well.
if she doesn't want to change,
Well,
I can't get in the way of that.
The thing about it, and since you brought that up, I have an uncle in Oakland, Oklahoma.
In where?
Oakland, California.
Oakland? Oh, okay.
California.
Okay. Well, look at I never heard of Oakland, Oklahoma.
But anyhow,
Had a good ring.
I've had, a son prior to my marriage currently. And I have a son. He's about 43 years old.
Where's he live? Oakland?
He's in Texas right now. I believe somewhere near Houston. And I bring that up because I was young, and the Lord said that when you're a child, you'll do childish things, but when you become a man, you put childish things away. And I have no hate toward his mother, and nothing but love. But it just wasn't meant for me and her. It just wasn't meant, and we were unequally yoked. And that's why I can give praise to my wife today, because I had understood that, and I gave myself a chance for a better life.
Hang on a second, excuse me.
Go ahead.
Ziggy, turn off the radio.
And so even it's funny, Henry. My son had called the other day, and he said, "Dad," he said, "can you have your wife call me because I have a question for her?" You know, the first thing you think, well, why didn't you call your when you call your mother? Well, you know,
It's not his mom.
but he asked, and I said, "Yeah, I have her call you." Go ahead, Henry.
I'll tell you, one of the nicest people that I really never got to know unfairly was my stepmom. Yeah, I didn't. There was so much strife
Sure.
between.
Sure.
So what I'm
Sure.
talking about
Sure.
is my dad and my stepdad used to be best friends,
Oh, okay.
and you know that doesn't go over too big
No.
in a little town like
No,
Topeka.
no, it won't go over
And
good.
my dad never stopped loving my mom, but he never changed.
Yes.
And I forgave my dad.
Yes.
You know, finally, at some point in time over the last decade,
Yes.
because I understand the stress he had
Yes.
from World War II that he never got over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they incinerated more of the Japanese than the atomics killed. And as a navigator, he had trouble coping with that.
Sure.
Every time he got in the plane, thought it'd be the last time.
Very good.
And
Very good.
but we have some really interesting, and I'll talk about that on another show.
Sure.
It's not for today.
Sure.
I want to spend some time getting the studio open today.
Okay, very
I got to
good.
hang some pictures,
And
but I
God,
also have
God
some.
bless you, Henry.
I've got to get some stuff done for a client. He's got a
Very
big
good.
presentation coming up, and I got to do my work.
Well, very good, Henry. And
I got to do his work.
It's been a pleasure.
But that's why I get paid.
And it's been a pleasure being with you today, Henry. And I thank God for you.
And that's good. Thank you, man. You're all right. Henry McClure live with JB.
Yeah, all right now.
All right, we're black and white.
Have a good day.
Don't forget about it.
And we love you, Topeka.
I love you. Happy Easter. Go to church. Never hurts.